So this seems like a good framework, the 3S framework. Let me explain this framework using some examples. Let me actually use the example of sports, but this insight can apply in sports, in business strategy, in multiple other areas. Okay, but let me explain this using the example of sports. Let's if we use the example of Andre Agassi, the famous tennis player. Insights by science. What do we mean by science? By science I mean certain insights about the governing principles of the game or the technique of that game. So just to give an example, when Andre Agassi was a kid, he developed an insight, or his father, both of them, they developed an insight about the game, that since he was short height, that if he starts playing ahead inside the baseline, then it is better for him because the ball will bounce and not climb much on him. But if he stands 1 or 2 meters behind the baseline, then the ball will climb and he will not be able to hit aggressively. So this is an example of insight, or this is an example of technique or science of the game, where you are trying to understand a domain. It could be business, it could be sports, it could be any domain, doesn't matter, but you're trying to understand. It could be even education, when you're teaching the student, and when you're trying to understand the technique of teaching, what enables a student to understand or grasp quicker and better. All these principles, all these insights is what I'm calling as science. So this is the first level. Let's say if you are a sweets maker or a food company making food, the tricks and the insights about making tasty food is within the domain of science or within the domain of technique or insights. Okay, so that is the first level. However, this is not, there is something bigger than this, which is a system. So just one insight for any domain will not give you success, because you will have to make sure that you have built an entire value chain, an entire system of choices around that insight. So for example, if Andre Agassi's insight is to play inside the baseline, he will have to make other choices there, so that there is no loose end. For example, if he is standing inside the baseline in tennis, he cannot have a very big backswing, and he will have very less reaction time to hit the ball, because the ball will bounce and immediately come. The reaction time will be limited. So he will have to make a lot of other choices, which should fit with this choice of standing within the baseline. So that is what I'm calling as a system. So he will have to devise a playing system, a playing method for himself. And how do you identify whether it's a system or not? A system, you identify a system that it should really be like a system, meaning it should be coherent and it should not have any loose end. It should not have any contradictory choice within it. Then it's a system, right? The equivalent of system is business model. In case of a business, all the choices that the business makes needs to be reinforcing each other, and then that is a business model. But there is something superior to business model, which is a strategy. Now strategy, why, what is first of all the essence of strategy? The essence of strategy, this is some, I'm still reflecting on this, and this is, I don't think people have covered this that much or that clearly, the distinction between a business model and a strategy. I think in one line, the what differentiates a strategy from a business model is this notion of fit, which is based on your own personality, your own internal personality, internal makeup, whether you are an individual or a business. You choose a particular system, and you even customize that particular system based on what you are, in terms of your body, in terms of your value system, in terms of your psychology, in terms of your entire personality, whether you are an individual or a business. So that is why strategy is of the utmost importance, because it is the final level. It is the level in which you have achieved fit, and this is something that will make you, that will give you better and better results, because you have fitted the strategy. Let me give you an example here. Let's say there are different, actually in Andre Agassi's example, there are different styles of playing, there are different systems of playing, right? Andre Agassi has a system of playing inside the baseline. Let's say a taller player from Russia or from any other country, Germany, or tall, very very tall player, Croatia, etc., where tall players typically come from 6'3" 6'4" is playing behind the baseline. He will have to pick a very different playing system, right? So now strategy means that Andre Agassi is choosing a system which is fitting his personality, his physical limitations, his psychological makeup, his value system, whatever, his personality basically. And that is when it becomes a strategy. So let me repeat, actually, let me give another example. In cricket also, there could be different styles of playing. So for example, Don Bradman played with a cross bat, and almost all the greats after him played with a straight bat, like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli. These people play with a straight bat. So maybe these two are right systems within themselves. But then your strategy is basically the system that you choose based on your own personality, your own preferences, and you also customize the system a little bit. I think you will have to, because the system is a broad, it's coarse, it's not granular, it's like a suit or a blazer or a jacket that you're buying from the market, which is not totally customized for your body. And then you will have to customize it. So that is what is the meaning of strategy. It's becoming a long message. I just try to give, using a nice sounding 3S framework, that these are the three levels of excellence. First is the science, which is insights or technique. Then there is, you choose a system. How do you identify it's a system? That there should be no loose thread. Then it becomes a system. And then the strategy, the essence of strategy, or what differentiates a strategy from a system, is that fit, the notion of fit. It should fit you. And that is the reason why strategy is so exciting and so effective, because if it fits you, it is customized to you. And since it fits you, it will give you a unique advantage which no one else will be able to copy. Thank you.